Shalom. I want to give all the praise and all the glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rekah Kodash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me the truth. Also want to acknowledge all the Akyam who are pushing the truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. All right. So the Spirit today has me in Matthew 10. And really, I'm just going to go into us being the men that Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai set up to teach this truth. You know, this is our mission, to seal the elect. All right? Operation Seal the Elect. That's what we should be doing. That's our purpose. All right? Feeding the flock, right? Feeding the Lord's sheep. And remember, the sheep are only of the nation of Israel, and they're only 1/3 of our nation. All right, it's not everybody. That's why we always tell you this truth not for everybody. So it's not wise to give these pearls to swine, right? It's not wise to give this bread to the dogs. All right, but let's go ahead and start at verse 1. It says, and when he had called unto him his 12 disciples, he gave them power against unclean spirits to cast them out and to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease. All right. So we have, because of this knowledge and this truth, we have a spiritual power. And, you know, our spiritual powers are going to increase with our faith as we enter into more severe times in Jacob's trouble. But even right now, we have spiritual power. And I'm not going to say on a low level, because this is actually, you know, it's a powerful thing to be able to heal people with this knowledge and this truth. And yes, did Yahushua heal people physically from their sicknesses? Yes, he did. But it starts out with the spiritual sickness, because if you're calling on any of these false idols, if you're in these false religions, if you're, you know, adhering to these philosophies that are not true, these doctrines that are not true, that's considered a sickness as well, right? So you're sick. They even have a term like, oh, he's mentally sick. He's sick in the head, right? It's the same thing with false doctrines. You'll be sick in your head if you're dealing with that. So Isaiah 1:5, it says right here, why should ye be stricken any more? Ye will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick and the whole heart faint. Right? And he's talking about the head is the leadership, and the mind is faint because your leadership is here in Babylon is not leading you correctly. You know, if you're watching the televangelists like T.D. Jakes, Joel Osteen, Creflo Dollar, Joyce Meyer, the few that come to mind, those things are making you sick. Because why? They're the leadership. There's a lot of people who are of Israel. I know they watch those type of programs, and you learn from the devil, because those televangelists were set up by the so-called white man, right? And they may have went to his theology schools, and all they're doing is polluting your mind with their bullshit doctrines. All right, so that would make you sick, because the leadership is sick and your mind is faint. So it's spiritual sickness that we heal. That's why I say it's not low-level spiritual power that we have, because that's a heavy thing to teach someone, and if they you know, hearken or listen, then all of a sudden, hey, that person may be a member of the elect, and that's a miracle almost. So I'm not going to say that what we had, the spiritual power we have, is a low level, because I've said that in the past, but thinking on it deeper, it's really not low level. Our spiritual power is strong. It just has to be drawn out of us, and Lord's will, it'll be drawn out of the men of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, especially when we deal with the times we're about to come into, right? With Jacob's trouble. And you can see with the news and with the wars getting stirred up, the RFID micro CHIP is right around the corner. Or actually, we should say it's at the doorstep. It ain't right around the corner. It's at the doorstep, right? The mark of the beast. So let's get to Matthew 10 and 2. Now the names of the 12 apostles are these. The first, Simon, who is called Peter, and Andrew his brother, James the son of Zebedee, and John his brother, Philip and Bartholomew, Thomas and Matthew the publican, James the son of Alphaeus, and Lebbaeus, whose surname was Thaddeus, Simon the Canaanite, and Judas Iscariot, who also betrayed him. And just to bring it up, when it says Simon the Canaanite, do you think that he was a Canaanite by nationality or heritage? It was his citizenship. Simon was dwelling in Canaan. All right. So don't get it twisted, because Canaan, the Canaanites are Ham, but you don't get it twisted. When you see Simon the Canaanite, that just means we were scattered. He was one of those scattered members of Israel from Canaan, the land of Canaan. Doesn't mean he was a Canaanite by heritage. It was his citizenship at the time. But anyway, verse 5. These 12 Yahushua sent forth and commanded them, saying, Go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. All right. So right here, it's talking about both Gentiles, the Israelite Gentiles and the scattered Gentiles, because you had the Gentiles who were of the nation of Israel, and you had the Gentiles of the other nations. All right. And the Gentiles that he's speaking of right here was referring to the heathen Gentiles, and also the Gentiles who basically were of the nation of Israel, but they had taken on the ways of the heathen, right? Because you have the terms Greek and Grecian, and you know what? Let me just look it up real quick, because I don't want to give you the wrong information. Because I always got to re-look this stuff up. Because there's a difference, right, between a Greek and a Grecian. And I forget which one is which, but one of them knows they're an Israelite. The other one doesn't. So let's see. Okay, there you go. Another. So the Greek word for Grecian is Hellenistes, right? And let me look up. I'm actually going to dig deep on this topic real quick on the Greek and the Grecian. And it says here for Grecian, let's get the word.
Strong's G 1675. Hellenistes. Hellenistes.
Hellenistes, right? And it says, a Hellenist, one who imitates the manners and customs or worship of the Greeks and uses the Greek tongue. So that's your Grecian. All right, now let's look up Greek.
Strong's G 1673.
Greek.
Hellenikos.
So one was Hellenise and then one is